What? You expected me to say something? Say something about how this is the second part of me watching this, episode 4 of Elements of Justice, case 3. You're expecting me to go on some sort of weird, hopefully comedic bit of me explaining that, hey, if you haven't seen the first part, what are you doing? Why are you here? You shouldn't be here. You should have read the title of the video. What, do you expect me to understand that maybe the person who's still watching this video, even though they haven't seen the first part, is just enjoying this weird little banter thing and just wants to see the end of it before the video starts, and they'll go back to part 1. Well, guess what? No. I'm not saying that. No, I have absolutely nothing to say right now, and what is wrong with you? God, what do you think I am, a YouTuber? God.
Detective, and Equestria's most sought-after one at that.
Detective Reed, are you sure you'll be able to testify? You seem a touch out of it right now.
Nah, he's fine. Let him testify.
Of course, my lord. Don't
my
let
lord.
appearance fool you. Books, nooks, and
crannies,
covers and undercovers.
No crannies.
I'm here to seek them all out.
Or
Truth
dreams.
makes no moves unless you do.
Why is my man so tired?
You come again?
Nobody said anything.
All's well that ends well then.
Maybe if he falls asleep again, we could have him wheeled out of the courtroom.
I'd rather spend today actually speaking with the detective than tucking him into bed.
I mean, hey, I'm right next to my own bed.
Witness, rouse yourself.
Arouse.
Apologies, I am still a bit groggy.
Just a little bit.
Nothing that can be handled, I promise. My duties as a detective come first before anything else. My proteges at the EBI have certainly gotten worse from me.
In that case, please proceed with your testimony.
He's gonna start out with just like, yesterday I had a diet chili dog, 2 number 9s, a diet large soda. The poisoning.
The victim was poisoned with a substance known as gricklegrass.
Gricklegrass? That's
Do I
a
know,
great
you ask?
name.
The symptoms of said poison are very distinct, and they are a perfect match with the victim's condition. Those symptoms are a combination of sweating, a dangerously high heart rate, lightheadedness, followed by vomiting, extreme anxiety, and eventual collapse. Additionally, gricklegrass is fairly simple to make, as poisons go.
What is it,
Despite
weed?
this, I must admit that Miss Streamline was tested for any signs of the poison, but the results came back negative. Several Wonderbolts have made mention of seeing Rainbow Dash swapping juice boxes in her own locker with the ones in the victim's, though. Thus, the conclusion I have arrived at is that the juice box was the method by which the defendant poisoned the victim.
She's sweating. She's
know
poisoned.
about this whole swapping juice boxes detail before we stepped into court. I thought she was just putting juice boxes into Streamline's locker.
Well then, that would certainly explain a few things.
We're stupid,
Do
right,
you
guys?
think this is what Rainbow Dash was hiding from us?
Nah,
Maybe.
couldn't be.
Why would she hide that from us, though?
I don't know. She's embarrassed about her taste in
don't
juice
know.
boxes.
Thank you for your testimony, Detective Reed. Do you have anything further to add?
I had a
Always
cheese.
have more to say, my lord.
Oh dear. Today's going to be a long day, isn't it?
It already has been a long day.
I should hope not. I've got a schedule to keep.
Schedule.
Detective, cease
Schedule.
these antics.
Perhaps evidence will please our dear prosecutor. Behold,
It'll please
a
be.
report from the finest department you will find in Equestria, containing details on gricklegrass and its effects, for the perusal of all present, be they pony or human.
A rare but easy to manufacture poison affects our sweating, a dangerously high heart rate, lightheadedness followed by vomiting, extreme anxiety, and eventual collapse.
Thank you, Detective Reed.
Yes, thank you.
Now
Thank
then, defense, you may begin your cross-examination.
No sweat, Sonata. We've got this.
you. We got
Right.
this together.
Let's get started.
The poisoning.
The victim was poisoned with a substance known as grickle grass. How do I know, you ask? The symptoms of said poison are very distinct, and they are a perfect match with the victim's condition.
Hold it! Why are you so confident it was this poison specifically? Couldn't it be something else?
Perhaps
Like,
with
for
similar
example,
symptoms.
An allergic reaction to something the victim ate that day?
Yeah, or just general sickness, or like overworking themselves to the point where they literally vomit, or the anxiety can be explained by something maybe something like scary happened, before, and she was thinking about it, it was giving her a lot of anxiety. She was overworking herself, which caused the vomit, and maybe she was just generally sick as well, having a tough time. There's quite a few explanations you could actually give to the whole symptoms of the poison, like the explanation side of it, So I don't think I'm not fully into the poison. I'm not fully believing in it.
Your first point of contention, and you're already blaming the victim?
Wait, isn't that
Streamline's medical records have been checked, and she has no such allergy that would cause her to react in the manner she did.
To clarify, grickle grass is neither lethal nor noticeable in a single dose. No, you would need
repeated small doses.
small doses over time before the effect's onset.
What sort of length of time are we talking about?
About a week, I'd say.
You sound very sure.
Yes, I am indeed certain. My knowledge of botany is variable, but I'm quite well up in poisons.
I see.
So, Rabidash would have had to been switching out those juice boxes with poison for at least a week if she was the murderer. I'm gonna keep that of note.
Then an allergic reaction doesn't seem likely. They tend to occur soon after ingestion, not upwards of a week, don't they?
Indeed, Your Honor.
Guess I can't argue that route.
This week-long estimate matches the timeline of events quite nicely as well. The other Wonderbolts have all made statements to this effect. All mentioned that the victim has been looking a lot more withdrawn and lethargic as of late, which affected her performance. From what I've gathered, Streamline was quite an adept flyer, having a considerable degree of control over her wings. A quiet flyer, too. She hardly made any noise.
I could
To see
be
her
quiet.
suddenly struggling and making a ruckus
Unlike
when
the
attempting a
last
simple
video.
takeoff was highly unusual by all accounts.
Well, that clears that up then. Thank you for that information, Detective.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome, my lord. A font of knowledge such as myself often enjoys bestowing insight upon others.
Evidently.
I'm pretty sure when Private Eye, because Private Eye calls the judge my lord, right? I'm like really certain of that, Could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure I said because in this video I literally was just like, my lord, in surprise, as I was like, you called the judge my lord, but I'm pretty sure I had the same exact reaction when Private Eye also called the judge my lord. And the more, I already forgot his name. Detective Reed says my lord to the judge. It keeps reminding me of the fact that, oh my god, I had the same reaction to the whole my lord bit, and I'm kind of sad about it. Like, I should be better than this. Like, what the heck, man?
That was worth a shot. Don't let it get you down, though.
It's alright. I wasn't on the offensive anyway.
Really?
Well, some pony has to make the first move, right?
I guess so. What do you mean by that, though?
You'll see. Don't worry.
I mean, Sonata, you
Continue
and
your
Phoenix
testimony,
always do the
Detective.
first move.
Those symptoms are a combination of sweating, a dangerously high heart rate, lightheadedness, followed by vomiting, extreme anxiety, and eventual collapse. Additionally, grickle grass is fairly simple to make, as poisons go.
Hold it! Would you say the fact that grickle grass being an easy poison to make is what led you to suspect that it was used here?
Objection! Was I expecting too much of you when I hoped you would at least pay attention to the detective's testimony?
Damn, alright,
He has made
God.
it quite clear as to his reasons, of which there are several.
Nevertheless, I will answer. Yes, Miss Sonata, I would say just that. Miss Rainbow Dash, or anybody really, could conceivably make it without much issue. However, this is in conjunction with the timeline of events I mentioned earlier, along with the very particular set of symptoms the victim presented.
I see. Thank you for the clarification.
Sonata?
Yes, Mr. Wright?
I hate to be a
Debbie
Debbie Downer,
Downer.
but why are we just letting Prosecutor Luna and the detective clarify their points with no pushback?
It's all in due time, Phoenix. You gotta trust the process. You gotta trust in the Sonata.
Even your first move seemed to be doing just that.
We're just building
We
up
spoke
our
about
case.
chess earlier today. Do you remember?
Yeah,
We're setting them
I
up
do.
for a trap.
Is that relevant?
We're playing chess
Just
right
like
now, Phoenix.
chess. Sometimes I find it's better to stop and pay attention. The
Exactly.
opening move isn't necessarily a declaration of offensive intent, but more so gauging how your opponent reacts. The same
Sometimes I
applies to
actually
what
like
just
to do
happened
that
here.
too. Just
We
kind of
now know how they'll respond to
feel
their
out the
points being
situation.
questioned and bolstered without incident. Essentially, it's about observation and knowing when to strike.
Yeah, I
That's
like
a really
that.
unique strategy.
Is it though? Is it though? Because I feel like that's a pretty well, I wouldn't say well known, but I would say it's a not uncommon sort of strategy when it comes to strategy games in general. Because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that like to do that strategy where they just kind of like, instead of immediately go on the offense, they kind of like to just play neutral and just kind of just feel it out, you know, figure out what their opponent play style is and trying to figure out how their opponent reacts to certain things and how their opponent likes to play the game, you know? And you could get more information to eventually, and you can use that information against them. Like, it's a very effective strategy. Like, Phoenix, it's not. I wouldn't call it unique, Phoenix. I'm sorry.
But I get that knowing that is important. But we're not just gonna let them walk all over us, are we?
We're not letting them.
Of course
We're
not.
letting them go through the
When
door.
an opening presents itself, I'll be sure to take advantage of it. Right now, though, Luna seems a bit guarded. She probably won't give us any more information if I object too quickly.
I'm not sure which side of her I prefer. Before, she might as well have been on the stand herself with how much she was jumping in.
Regardless, as she is now, it's better to listen first. Lull her into a false sense of security before springing forward.
Pardon me for interrupting, but I did mention I have a schedule to keep today.
Okay,
Can we
schedule.
resume, or are you finished with me?
Yes. Good point, Detective. Continue your cross-examination, defense.
I really like the way Mr. Reed here says
Despite
schedule.
this, I must admit that Miss Streamline was tested for any signs of the poison, but the results came back negative.
Hold it! If this is the case, why are you insisting that the victim was, in fact, poisoned? If there were no traces of poison found in Streamline's body, then your entire argument about how Rainbow Dash poisoned the victim doesn't seem to follow.
I can confirm that a forensic spell was performed on both Streamline and her juice boxes.
Oh,
She was not suffering from an affliction that might have been caused by magic. There were no traces of any sort of magic being cast on the juice boxes either. This led me to conclude that the juiced boxes were tampered with by Hoof. A deduction supported by the statements of some Wonderbolts having seen Miss Dash doing precisely that.
interesting.
The forensic spell in question
Maybe she was putting more
performed
sugar
my
in the juice
presence
boxes.
For clarity's sake, as were all examinations of any evidence by my order.
Even so, this doesn't answer my question. None of this proves Rainbow Dash poisoned the victim. Again, why the insistence on Streamline having been poisoned?
As the detective stated, the forensic spell led us to the conclusion that this incident had no magical influence.
But again, that doesn't
There were
prove
no signs of
that
any magic having been
poison
performed
was
that
put
would have
into it.
caused her collapse. Thus, this crime is chemical in nature. Can we agree on that?
Well,
Yes,
yeah.
we can.
If that is the case, then we should also agree a poison of some sort is the most viable cause of the victim's condition.
Okay.
That I'm not so sure about. But I don't really have an alternative explanation for why Streamline collapsed. And running my mouth won't get me anywhere.
I like sick.
Better
I
to
like
remain
sick
silent
theory.
and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt, as they say.
Sonata?
No, we will not
Rainbow
speak.
doesn't look too happy.
Oh, funk. Yeah, that's that. Oh, her strategy is good, and I agree with that strategy. But the fact that Rainbow's gonna think, oh, that sucks for her. Oh. My heart bleeds for you, Sonata. That just makes me feel pain.
We might want to pick up the pace. I know you've got a plan, but all Rainbow can see is you agreeing with Prosecutor Luna and letting her say what she wants.
Yes, I suppose that might be what it looks
We gotta
like.
trust in the process, though.
Of all the ponies that should let their lawyer speak for them, Rainbow Dash is top of the list. We'll make a move then. Let's see where it gets us.
No. It's gonna turn out bad, though.
Several Wonderbolts have made mention of seeing Rainbow Dash swapping juice boxes in her own locker with the ones in the victim's, though.
Hold it! How often was Rainbow allegedly seen putting her juice boxes in Streamline's locker?
According to the several witness statements we gathered, quite regularly.
And by that you mean...
Every day before practice, without fail, starting about a week ago.
A week ago. Ooh, that's really striking evidence.
lines up perfectly with the projected time frame for the poisoning.
Additionally, the last time the defendant was seen tampering with the victim's juice boxes was on the day of the collapse.
Shoot. But did she drink the juice box that day?
From bad to worse. I need to move on before this gets out of hoof. Thank you for clarifying that, Detective. Please continue your testimony.
No move, strike. Luna's just like, what are you doing?
Thus, the conclusion I have arrived at is that the juice box was the method by which the defendant poisoned the victim.
Hold it! The juice boxes being the delivery method of the suspected poison seems unlikely, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean by that?
Well, like you said, it takes repeated doses for the symptoms to take effect.
Correct.
But that's the thing. Repeated doses, Detective.
Why not just do it once? Why not just, well, because the poison would be easy to make. So that's why you would do. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let Sonata speak.
Your very words. Surely you'd admit that a single juice box would not be able to fulfill, as you say, this repeated dose requirement?
I suppose it probably wouldn't. No. Numerically speaking.
Objection! Congratulations, defense. If nothing else, you are a master at wasting the court's time.
I am a master of wasting everybody's
While
time.
you
though.
are
Thank
here
you.
debating of all things basic arithmetic, you fail to account for one crucial detail. Catalyst
flavor of the juice
the
box.
effects of the poison did show, regardless of how elegantly you attempt to dance around that fact.
Even so,
But that's not the only point you fail to account for. The detective has clearly stated that according to several witness statements, the defendant had repeatedly and previously placed her own juice boxes into the victim's locker. It is reasonable to assume that every instance involved a tainted juice box, as evidenced by the victim's collapse.
You know, why did we choose juice boxes, by the way? I'm talking about, like creatively, decision-wise, like, writing-wise. Why did we choose... Why did you guys choose juice boxes? I'm curious. Because when you really think about it, like, juice boxes being, like, the whole, like, catalyst for the whole, like, murder, it's a little bit comedic. I will not lie. Like imagine you're just, like, sucking out some juice boxes, you know, and all of a sudden you just start dying, like... Just drinking some high C fruit punch and then just like become a duck and then you die.
In effect, those are the repeated doses of which Detective Reed speaks. There.
Oh.
I have solved your mathematical conundrum.
Okay,
It is
Luna,
not a
with
matter
that
of one
pose.
juice box. It is a matter of many.
were these juice boxes tested for traces of the poison?
They were.
Okay.
The results were negligible and could not adequately determine the poison's presence.
Okay, now we're getting
What?
somewhere.
And that definitely means...
But recall what the detective has said. Not just repeated doses, but small repeated doses. It is possible that the amount slipped into any individual juice box is too small to detect. Only when the poisoning catalyzes can its effect be observed, and its presence determined after the fact. Which, as we have already said, was what indeed occurred.
You can't say that for certain. Not without clear proof. At this moment, things are far too vague to come to any sort of conclusion.
Then allow me to dispel that vagueness which you claim still exists.
See, like, there's such a good, like balance of it being, like, you can infer all this stuff and you can, like, kind of put pieces together to be like, yeah, this can be a pretty definitive conclusion, but it still doesn't have literal, like very concise, like, proof, like, legitimate proof, like, undeniable proof. But you can still fully believe in, like, yeah, this does make a lot of sense. But there's no, like, actual legitimate proof. Like, it's just that perfect balance. Like, damn.
Still exists.
You have more evidence?
A witness, Blue Phoenix.
Ooh, a witness.
We're still
Who's
in the middle of a
witness?
cross-examination,
No,
though.
who's the witness?
One that has run its course, in my opinion. But, if you would, Your
Please
Honor,
be Trixie. It's not gonna be Trixie,
I
but
agree.
imagine if it was
The
Trixie.
outline of this incident
That would be
and the
funny.
testimony given by the detective
What if it was
have
Spitfire?
both
That
been
would be
sufficiently
interesting.
scrutinized. Anything further would likely just be us going in circles. So I suggest we move on.
So I'm free to leave now, my lord?
Yes, you may step down, witness.
Time for me to leave the drab, tiresome confines of this courtroom behind and get back to work.
Or sleep, because
Your
you
Honor,
probably
could you
should
please-
sleep.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but no. We've spent enough time on Detective Reed's testimony.
He's got a schedule to keep.
If the judge won't give Mr. Wright any leeway, I've got no chance. I suppose this is where the cross-examination ends, whether we like it or not.
Damn.
Well, now, I'll be off then.
Bye, Mr. Reed. Oh, he just phases out. Oh, he's back.
Although, Miss Sonata,
What's up?
Yes?
your approach to cross-examination is very unique. Extremely shrewd, meticulous, yet without meanness or malice. It's been a
Thank you.
while since I've had somebody press me in that manner. I feel nostalgic, in a way.
Nostalgic, huh? Okay.
The fool speaks, the wise pony listens. Right?
I like how he
Sonata?
noticed. I like how he noticed.
For what
That's
it's
cool.
worth, I'm glad you are still listening.
I like that.
I will now call my next witness, Your Honor.
Very well.
Who will it be? It is Spitfire! Oh my god.
Witness, Please state your name and occupation for the record.
No.
I'm the captain of the Wonderbolts.
Captain? Wow, that's quite the amazing feat. You must be a pretty big deal then, eh?
I mean, I don't like to show off, but I am proud of my service to Equestria.
Still trying to remain professional, I see.
Captain Spitfire,
I will never be
ma'am.
professional.
you will testify in regard to both Wonderbolt reservists that are involved in this incident, and the juice boxes that were placed in the victim's locker.
Copy that, ma'am.
I don't know. Again, I don't know why, but the text was going out, and for some reason, I thought it was gonna say raising this barn, raise this barn, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did I think it was gonna be raising this barn? There's no barns, there's no raising except for maybe rise for the court. Like, why would I be thinking raising the barn?
It's not an exaggeration to say that Rainbow Dash is one of our fastest flyers. Streamline's almost just as good, too. The two of them share a dorm space, and their lockers are right next to each other as well. It's like that detective said. Several ponies saw Rainbow swap a juice box with one in Streamline's locker, just before the collapse. After I was notified, I called for Rainbow's detainment. Unfortunately, rather than come quietly, she ended up causing a scene and resisted arrest.
Thank you for your testimony, Captain Spitfire.
Of course, Princess Luna.
Now, I believe we have a cross-examination to...
Actually, ma'am, and your honor, I'd like
Oh.
to say a few more words if that's all right.
Why, go ahead, please.
Well,
I'm
then,
excited
go
to
ahead,
hear these words.
witness.
In my time as captain of the Wonderbolts, I've seen a lot of newbies come and go. Some wash out long before they can achieve liftoff. Rainbow Dash, however, has certainly demonstrated she could be a capable member. Her accomplishments really do speak for themselves. She'll make an excellent Wonderbolt one day.
One day.
Do not tell me, Captain Spitfire, that you mean to slam your own gavel and rule in place of the court.
Not at all, ma'am. It's not my place to judge.
On that, we agree. However,
So I think it's safe to assume that, yeah, Spitfire's, like, fully on our side, you know? Like, she's still she still really respects Rainbow Dash. But also, scene 4, Commander on Stand, the last title of the video. Man, I love these scene titles so much. They're so much fun to see.
however, I would advise you to refrain from making your unprompted opinions known, unless directly asked.
Can we go back to the dumpster?
Yes, ma'am.
Whoa.
Thank you for letting me speak regardless.
No doubt about it. Spitfire's proud of Rainbow. It must pain her to have to testify against her.
Yeah.
Yet she chose to anyway. I wonder, does she want to protect Rainbow, or does her duty to the Wonderbolts always come first?
I feel like the duty
Now
to the
then,
Wonderbolts
Defense,
kind of
you may
always
begin
comes
your
first.
cross-examination.
But, you know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here's another thing, though. Okay, so for the last courtroom, the ponies in the background, some of them had, like, different expressions. This time, all the ponies kind of have the same blank stare and blank expression, and I kind of don't like that. I like the charm of the ponies in the last courtroom. So, yeah, that's my big critique of the episode. Fix those faces.
It's not an exaggeration to say that Rainbow Dash is one of our fastest flyers. Streamline's almost just as good, too. The two of them share a dorm space, and their lockers are right next to each other as well. It's like that detective said. Several ponies saw Rainbow swap a juice box with one in Streamline's locker, just before the collapse.
Hold it! How do you know that Rainbow was putting her own juice boxes in, and not, say, Streamline's boxes?
Objection!
Defense, I begin to tire at your incessant habit of blowing more hot air.
But I like hot air.
already
What if I
verified
can't
that
blow
they were
cold air?
different juice boxes by examining the boxes themselves. We found that the boxes of the victim and the defendant had different shipment numbers, and that at the time of the crime, those two sets of numbers were both in the victim's locker, indicating one was being swapped out with another. Combined then with Detective Reed's testimony, we have no doubt that they were swapped by the defendant. It is self-evident.
That matches with what we found, unfortunately.
I should have expected Luna to be that thorough. Still, it was worth testing the
Just take a
waters
little
there.
dip in the water,
right.
make sure it's not
Then,
too cold.
Captain, let me revise my question. We heard from Detective Reed that my client had been swapping out the boxes for a little while. Now, you verified that by saying, before the collapse, she was seen swapping one out again, correct?
Didn't I already say that? Why are you asking me to repeat myself?
Because you're
Yes,
stupid. No, I'm
if the
kidding.
defense didn't hear you the first time, it's not their fault. Just answer the question.
Now that's projection if I've ever heard it.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, that's correct.
Then what happened to the one Rainbow swapped out?
I actually don't know.
Maybe
You
she
don't
drank
know?
it.
Then what
It was
about
just a
this?
little thirsty.
Detective Reed speculated that my client had been performing the swap repeatedly for about a week. So what happened to those juice boxes? Where'd they go?
10 to 1 says they were thrown out. But I get the feeling that's not what you mean.
What do you mean, defense?
Is it important to know where those discarded boxes went? Maybe. They could provide us some new information if we were to test them.
I would like to know where the juice boxes went. What if they went in the dumpster, huh? Callbacks.
But I don't think I want to reveal that card yet. And besides, if no pony knows where the boxes went, I may not get that far in asking for them. I'll inquire more about this later. For the time being, though. Thank you, Captain. You may continue your testimony.
Luna's like, what the hell, man?
Sonata?
She's playing her
After I
cards
was
right.
notified, I called for Rainbow's detainment. Unfortunately, rather than come quietly, she ended up causing a scene and resisted arrest.
Hold it! She resisted arrest?
You're darn right she did. She took a swing at one of the Air Wing security forces.
Here's another thing about Sonata's strategy here for the testimonies. It's also, I say, a pretty good way to spice up the way the whole court testimonies usually feel and go. Since again we're on a third case, it's good to give a little bit of variety and shake things up a little bit for how things usually go. So another thumbs up for that.
Thank Celestia she missed, or she'd have been charged with assault. Honestly, I get why she'd be upset, but she should have known better. It made the Wonderbolts as a whole look bad.
I love Spitfire's writing here. I'm not gonna lie.
Murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ.
No murder was committed, Prosecutor Luna. And attempted murder is still under question.
But of course,
I am a liver.
still, look upon your client's face.
I am an appendix.
Would an innocent pony look so incensed?
Prosecutor
The hair
Luna
flip.
would, of course, know that she cannot attempt to lead the gallery. More than that, surely she can acknowledge that an upset face does not inherently mean guilt. After all, any innocent pony would be upset at being wrongfully arrested.
Amen, sister. Yeah, legal.
As you say.
Well, that's all Spitfire has to say. What do you think?
I think this is a
It's hard
bunch
to
of
say.
hackalooey
The only
dooey.
genuinely new piece of information is that Rainbow Dash resisted arrest. Which, as bad as it looks, isn't as shocking as one might think, given whom we're talking about.
You know, there's still time. we can go over Spitfire's testimony again.
Interesting.
No. I believe I'm through with it.
Okay,
What?
okay.
You're done? Already?
Yeah, that was a fast
So far,
testimony.
aside from the juice box swapping, nothing surprising has been said. So perhaps the prosecution has played all its pieces, which may mean...
If there's nothing further, I think we can conclude this cross-examination.
And hopefully, this trial,
No,
Your Honor,
no.
Just a moment, Prosecutor Luna. Let me give my opinion thus far.
Gimme.
The case against Miss Rainbow Dash appears rather solid, all things considered. Witnesses, several of them, testify as to her actions and behaviors the day of the collapse. And we at least have an idea of what actions were taken. That of poisoning. Unless I'm missing something, everything.
Sonata, you better come in swinging a motivating factor. Interesting title name. But Sonata, you better come in swinging with like the most shocking, interesting, like nobody thought of this moment objection ever. You got to come in swinging with like the bombs. I don't know.
Everything has been established.
Everything except one thing, Your Honor.
All right, give me the
Possible
bombs.
motive. Neither Detective Reed nor Captain Spitfire provided us
fair
an
point,
idea of
alright.
one after all.
Little
That
sparkle there, a
is
little bit of
true.
a peck.
Captain Spitfire?
Well, Your Honor, it, isn't really my place to speculate, is it?
Prosecutor Luna did say that you should not provide your opinions unprompted. Consider this the prompt. And while you're at it, you should consider something else. Assuming that Rainbow Dash did swap out the juice boxes in Streamline's locker with her own, we lack any idea of why she did that.
Yeah, were they
We
best
know
friends or
why.
something?
she wished to poison the victim.
Yeah, but why?
But why? What would drive some pony, any pony, to attempt something like that?
Like you're not gonna wake up one day, but just like, yeah, I think I should poison somebody. I think I should just swap some juice boxes out with poison. That's what I'm gonna do today. Like, no.
Why does that matter, defense? Motive hardly changes the outcome.
Isn't it obvious? So long as that hole exists, it would be inappropriate for us to assume anything definitive about this case has been established. We, as arbiters
Bam.
of the rule of law,
Do not cite the rule to me, defense. I was there when it was written.
Ooh,
And I
that's a
see
bigger
and
line.
acknowledge your point. I welcome it, in fact, for the opportunity it affords.
you welcome it?
Indeed. If the motive is what you desire, I shall be happy to
What?
provide.
You have a motive?
She knew. I had a feeling she would. But then, why didn't she start off with that?
Captain Spitfire,
Interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe it is in the best interest of the court that you now provide some
Additional.
additional context.
What the heck, man?
Additional?
What the
Oh,
frick nugget?
You must mean...
Indeed. Proceed, witness.
All right, well, the thing is... This isn't the first incident between Rainbow Dash and Stream.
no.
There have been arguments before,
no.
usually small ones. Nothing that you wouldn't expect from competing team members. But a few days before the collapse, Rainbow and Streamline were arguing again during practice. It got heated. Very.
How very heated? Are we talking like lava? You know, molten lava? Are we talking about like center of the earth, or are we talking about the sun? You know, there's a very 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 noticeable distinction between sun hot and lava hot. Personally, I prefer a more lukewarm hot. You know, maybe a little bit of a hot tub. You know, hot spring kind of hot. You know, when it comes to my heated arguments, but considering it's very heated, you know, we're looking for lava heated right now.
Heated.
Would you explain to the court what you mean by that?
Rainbow Dash said...
You're nothing but a dirty cheater who should never have been let into the Wonderbolts.
I expected worse. Oh god, it's the worst possible thing anybody could have said to anybody.
So, how exactly was Streamline a cheater, Captain?
And cheating in what?
Can't say,
A race?
Your Honor. I only arrived after the argument and ordered the two of them to separate and cool off. I never heard what caused it.
Wait. Hold on a moment. Think this through. It was obvious from the start that Rainbow...
Notice how Sonata's eyes are closed right now. I would like to think that like Luna just looks over to Sonata and just sees that her eyes are closed, and it's just like, "Are you sleeping? Are you snoring in the middle of a trial?" And she's just there, and then she starts snoring, and all of a sudden her head just like slams into the table. It's just like. Oh my god.
that Rainbow Dash didn't like Streamline. But now, calling Streamline a cheater.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. Ah, I didn't get to read it.
This information seems extremely relevant. If I consider what Phoenix said back at the Academy, he told me his Magatama detected that Rainbow was hiding some sort of secret, didn't he?
Well, it probably
Not
was the
just any
secret.
old secret. One seemingly related to her arrest. And how that whole just a case of bad timing might be a lie. And then, with what Rainbow said in the detention center...
Did Streamline become a reservist around the same time you did?
No, she became one a little bit later. I never heard of her before, and then she suddenly found her way onto the team. Not like she deserved it, though.
Why is that?
Because she just doesn't, okay?
I'm very curious as to what prompted her hating the victim. I don't remember her name.
That's it, isn't it? That's what you were hiding from me all this time. You know your accusation gives you a clear motive. So you've kept it to yourself. Kept it from me.
What the
But
heck,
now
Rainbow?
I know. Now the whole court knows.
Ramgo.
Not just that you have a motive for wanting to get rid of Streamline, but that you've been lying from the start. Why, Rainbow Dash? Why wouldn't you tell me this?
I'm gonna put you in the
That's
timeout
a
corner
little
for that.
below the belt, isn't it? To think she'd be so harsh to a fellow Wonderbolt Reserve.
Well, but we don't know the context of the argument. We still don't know the side of the victim here. So for all, we still don't know who was actually in the right in that argument. Could have been Rainbow, could have been the victim. How do I keep forgetting the names of these ponies? How do I keep forgetting the names? I'm so sorry.
Reserve.
Calling it harsh does it a disservice, Your Honor, for this was not some petty insult, but a targeted and visceral accusation against the victim's character. It did not stem from a place of childish malice, but instead of fiendish hatred. Hatred so intense, it could motivate any pony to attempt murder.
Hold on a second. That's quite the reach, Prosecutor Luna.
It is a bit of a reach.
Is it? Is it really, Blue Phoenix?
Yes.
How ironic. You were so quick to bring up last week's trial in an attempt to console me earlier. Have you already forgotten what happened?
Yes.
Hatred, as tempestuous as it was fickle, stabbed at the heart of the matter, and was its origin?
What?
Besides, it is not much of a reach when we consider the defendant herself. She has not expressed an ounce of regret or remorse.
Prosecutor Luna, that is only baseless conjecture.
Baseless!
Whoa.
Just look at the defendant's face!
It's like, oh shoot, they're looking at me.
We need not be augurs observing
Pose.
the hideous encirclements of crows to gain an understanding of the defendant's blackguard heart.
Damn.
Your eyes! See what they tell you!
Damn.
Bad. If this keeps...
I'm kind of digging the change in Luna, how the way she prosecutes. I'm kind of digging it. She's a lot more like, oh shoot, we're in trouble kind of thing, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
I can't let that happen. I can't let Luna sow any more doubt in Rainbow's character. Or rather, I need to turn the focus away from anything that resembles motive. Let me think. Yes, I can try that. My client's facial disposition aside.
What? Sonata, what the heck are you?
That does not mean that everything in this case has been uncovered.
There are more unanswered questions, you mean?
Hell yeah,
Yes,
let's
Your
go.
Honor. And as the latest witness, Captain Spitfire, has yet to be dismissed,
Give me
I'd
the
like to
bomb.
ask her for answers.
Alright, shoot.
Okay. Got a chance to breathe. Better make the most of it.
Give me the bombs.
I want to return to the question of poison. This grickle grass, where do you suppose it was brewed?
Definitely not on Academy grounds.
Why do you say that?
'Cause it'd be too obvious. There are way too many ponies around, and any pony could have smelled something foul if Rainbow was cooking poison in, say, the kitchen.
I see. What about...
Imagine you just walk into the kitchen and then one of your like co-workers is just busy cooking up poison in the kitchen. just casually, just like humdy dumpty dum. Oh, it's gonna be some tasty poison. Humdy dumpty dum. Oh, smell that beautiful poison smell.
About storage? Were any containers or cylinders missing?
For holding the poison after it was made? No, we didn't find anything like that.
Prosecutor Luna?
Our
What?
investigation did not find a witch's
Witch's
cauldron,
cauldron.
if that is what the defense is getting at.
That's exactly what I mean. There are no traces of evidence to show that Rainbow had made grickle grass on site.
But you could have
Then
made it
forgive me for
in
rushing to the
Ponyville.
obvious rebuttal, but that
Yeah.
just means that the defendant could have made the poison elsewhere
Yeah, yeah.
and then brought it to the academy.
Yep.
Could she have? Captain Spitfire, tell us. Could she have?
Oh.
No. I can tell you with 100% certainty
Oh.
she could not have.
Oh.
Why is that?
The security.
It's simple, Your Honor. That grickle grass, if it really is that uncommon, then no matter how easy it is to make, the materials you need to make it would stand out like an unpreened feather. In other words, if Rainbow brought anything remotely exotic or suspicious looking onto Academy grounds, it would have been confiscated immediately.
There we
Contraband
go.
of any sort is part and parcel of academy life. Undoubtedly, there are many ponies who have snuck things into the
Like a
barracks.
chocolate bar. Or many
Undoubtedly,
chocolate
sure.
bars.
But the key point is the level of suspicion the materials for grickle grass would raise. A chocolate bar, for instance, while technically contraband, doesn't arouse as much suspicion.
Yeah, I said chocolate bar.
You had to bring that up? Regardless, we didn't confiscate or find anything suspicious either before or after the incident.
Thank you, Captain Spitfire. Your Honor, given this information, the defense argues that no pony knows how my client could have brought the supposed poison into the academy. Therefore,
Objection!
Luna, there's no way. Come on,
come
Luna.
on,
There's
I
no way.
was just getting warmed up.
There's no way. Please. No.
So,
No. How?
it appears that you have some vivacity left in you, Miss Sonata. Good. If you had been any more laid back in your approach, you'd have fallen over.
Okay.
Your comment is noted, prosecutor.
Are you gonna rebuttal? Or are you gonna...
Unfortunately, your terminal rally has led to critical oversight.
I want to
You
scream.
say that no pony knows how your client could have snuck in poison? That quite simply
Well,
is not
Rainbow Dash
true.
would have if she did.
For we know some pony who most assuredly does.
You do?
I was gonna say
Before
Rainbow.
we get into that, though, Your Honor, I believe Captain Spitfire has been detained long enough. The prosecution humbly requests she be dismissed from this
Part of
stand,
your strategy.
that she may return to her Wonderbolt duties post-haste.
No, can we keep her?
Yeah, probably got a bunch of paperwork lording over my desk right about now.
The court grants this request. Witness, you may step down.
Damn, okay.
Now then, Prosecutor Luna, this other pony, are they to be our next witness?
They are, Your Honor.
Okay, who's it gonna be?
Bring in the next...
One moment, Your Honor.
You're gonna make me wait till
Unfortunately,
the
you
next
cannot bring
episode,
them
aren't
in.
you?
But why not?
You're gonna make me
Normally,
wait.
Witnesses
You're gonna make,
love being
gonna
brought
make
in
me
to
wait.
testify. Honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of the job.
Your Honor, it's basically a roll call. Nothing too special.
Come on,
Your
let him
enthusiasm
enjoy
is
it.
laudable, Your Honor. But sadly, while they have been summoned, this witness hasn't arrived yet. As such, we would ask for a short recess to wait for them.
They're gonna make
Unless
me
the
wait.
defense has any objections.
Yes, I would like to object. Stop making me wait
No
with these stupid
objections.
cliffhangers.
I have a feeling that even if I had any, she'd swat them down.
How typical, I suppose.
Very well. The court will be given a 15-minute recess while the prosecution prepares their next witness. Court will now adjourn.
I'd better make the most of that time. Because something tells me I'm going to need it.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes. There's no. Man, we're not getting the witness. Ah, damn. Pinkie Pie. Are you suggesting that Pinkie Pie is the witness? Huh? Pinkie Pie? Pinkie to the pie? Whoa, my nose is getting stuffed. Holy crap, whoa. I just had a moment. Damn, but that's really interesting. If I recall correctly, there is like something weird going on with Pinkie and Rainbow. And I think Case 2 and a little bit of Case 3, so yeah, we're in Pinkie Pie. Okay, that's really interesting. I like that. You know, I got nothing to say right now. We're just gonna be watching the credits. Okay. Thoughts on the episode. Oh, my nose is still incredibly stuffed right now. What the hell? Okay. I think, honestly, though, that this episode is one of my favorites, if not my favorite out of this case so far. Like, this episode was a banger. Has some really good comedic bits, has some really good, like, shakeups with the whole way the court writings, you know, how they write the whole court thing, you know, like it was pretty interesting how they dealt with writing this first part of the trial. I really like how Sonata's strategy shook things up, and how they brought in Mr. Reed, and how they brought in Captain Spitfire. Also like how they did the little the 21 Angry Mayors scene, the trick scene in Celestia and Sonata and Private Eye. So really like that, you know. So overall, this is just a really solid episode, which, you know, you would expect nothing less from an Elements of Justice episode. All the episodes are solid as frick, but this one was more solid in my opinion. I really like this one. It's a good one. Thor. Oh, what to talk about while these credits roll. Yay! Blender? What are they using Blender for? Good old cakewalk. Maybe they're using Blender for that, actually. Yay, we made it through the credits again. Woo! Also, this thumbnail's pretty damn... It goes pretty damn hard, like I was gonna say something, but it's not on brand for my type of content. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Just kidding, I will say it. Luna, step on me, please.